pass this beginner roller skating test? Let's find out. I've taught hundreds of beginner roller skaters, and in this video I'm going to give you 5 simple tests to see where you're currently at. So go and grab your skates and you can keep score as we go. So you're going to give yourself 1 point for every test that you can complete confidently and with control. Don't worry if you don't get all 5. This isn't about being a good or bad skater. It's about finding out what to work on. And at the end, I'll tell you exactly what your score means and what you should focus on next. Let's start with test number 1. For your first test, I want to see if you can balance on 1 foot while rolling. So you're going to lift 1 foot off the ground and hold it for 3 seconds, then switch sides and do it on the other foot. To show you an example, this would get a point. And then this would not be a point. To earn the point, you should be able to hold the balance position for 3 seconds on both sides with control. No hopping around, no putting the foot up and then back down. I'm going to pause the video here for 10 seconds so you can give it a try, and feel free to pause the video if you need a little longer. Alright, so if you completed both sides with control, you can give yourself 1 point. Balancing is a skill that is important to most people more than they realize. 1 foot balancing is a foundational skill that is required to be able to skate forwards, to cross over, to turn backwards. It is a skill that you will need to do everything else. If this felt difficult, I'd say spend more time working on weight transfer drills before moving on to any advanced skills. You need to have really good balance on your skates. For your second test, I want to see if you're actually skating rather than just walking in your skates. So I'd like you to take 5 control strides. As you skate, there should be a clear glide between each push. This would get the point. This would not get the point. So to earn the point, you need to push to the side and glide between each stride. If you're taking lots of little marching steps, this does not get the point. I'm going to pause the video here for 10 seconds so you can give it a try. Feel free to pause the video longer if you like. Alright, so if you completed 5 somewhat controlled strides with a clear push and glide in between, give yourself 1 point. This skill matters because it's what separates skating from simply just walking in your skates. So if you're doing a proper push and glide, this will help you skate more efficiently, you use less energy, and you build speed with less effort. So if this felt difficult, I would practice shifting your weight a little bit more and getting used to putting the weight into the back foot to push out of it before you advance onto more harder skills. For your third test, I want to see if you can stop when you need to on cue to avoid any collisions. You can use a plow stop or a toe stop, whatever you're comfortable with. This technique doesn't matter. What matters the most is that you're in control when you stop. This would get the point. This would not get the point. To earn the point, you need to be able to come to a controlled stop, and because you decided to stop, not because you just ran out of space, not because you're about to hit something, and not because you just got lucky. So I'm going to pause the video here for 10 seconds so you can give it a try. Again, feel free to pause the video if you need longer. All right, so if you were able to stop with control when you chose to, give yourself 1 point. This skill is one of the biggest confidence builders in roller skating because your brain lets you skate confidently if it knows that you can stop when you need to. It's like riding a bike. If you know how to stop, you're okay. If I was riding a bike and I didn't know how to stop, I'd be panicking. So if this felt difficult, I would spend more time on building your confidence with your stopping technique before worrying about harder skills, because this is such an important skill to have. For your fourth test, I want to see if you can skate around a corner without stepping and while keeping momentum. So I want you to find a small corner or curve or a circle and skate all the way around it. This would get the point. Crossovers would also get a point. They're a little bit more advanced, so don't try these if you're a beginner. This would not get a point. This would also not get a point. If you go around the curve and then your skates straighten up, we want to make sure that we're keeping that curve. So to earn that point, you need to have maintained flow all the way around the corner without stopping. The smoother and more controlled, the better. I'm going to pause the video here so you can try it. Feel free to pause the video longer if you need. All right, so if you were able to skate around the corner with control without stepping, give yourself 1 point. This skill tells me you're starting to develop edge control, steering, and weight transfer. These 3 skills are the biggest building blocks to becoming a more confident and advanced skater. But if this felt difficult, I'd spend a little bit more time skating in circles, feeling your edges and shifting your weight a little bit more before you move on to more advanced skills like crossovers. For your 5th and final test, I want to see if you can skate around without looking down at your skates. So I want you to skate forward for about 10 to 15 seconds while keeping your eyes up and looking in the direction that you're going. This would get the point. This would not get the point. So to earn the point, you need to have kept your eyes up for most of the distance, that 10 to 15 seconds. And a quick glance down is fine, but if you're constantly checking your feet like this, it doesn't count. I'm going to pause the video here so you can try it. All right, so if you were able to skate with your eyes up and looking in the direction that you're going, give yourself 1 point. This one is one of my favorite confidence tests because it tells me a lot about how comfortable you are on your skates. When you stop looking down at your skates, your posture will start to improve, your awareness starts to improve, and your skating just starts to feel a lot more natural. If this felt difficult, don't worry too much because for most skaters, confidence and repetition usually is the answer here. And the more comfortable you become on your skates, the less you will feel like you need to constantly be looking at what your skates are doing. So if this felt difficult, I would spend more time on building your confidence with your stopping technique before worrying about harder skills because this is such an important skill to have. All right, I have one other skill which is for a bonus point. This bonus one, it becomes more of a milestone skill for beginner skaters than a foundational skill. So if you know how to do it, I want to see if you can transition from forwards to backwards while rolling. This would get the point. So with this would not get the point. So to earn the point, you need to transition while you're moving. You don't need to do it fast. You don't need it to be perfect. You just need to stay in control while your skates are rolling throughout the transition so that when you end up backwards, you feel comfortable and in control. I'm going to pause the video for 10 seconds so you can give it a try. All right, so if you were able to transition from forwards to backwards without stepping or tripping, give yourself 1 bonus point. And the reason this is a bonus point is because this isn't one of your core foundational skills, but it is one of the first big milestones that tells me you're ready to start exploring more advanced beginner skills like backward skating. If you got this one, that's a really big achievement because it's one of these milestone skills that I see my beginner skaters work really hard towards. It's a great sign showing that you're making solid progress too. All right, so let's see how you did. Remember, this isn't about being a good or a bad skater. It's about finding out what to focus on next. If you scored 0 to 2 points, you're building your skating foundations, and that's exactly where every skater starts. I'd focus on confidence, consistency, and getting comfortable with those core skills we tested today. If you scored 3 to 4 points, you're making great progress and you've already got some solid foundations in place. At this stage, I'd focus on strengthening the areas where you missed points rather than learning new skills. If you scored 5 points, you've got a solid beginner foundation and you're likely ready to start exploring more advanced beginner skills. And if you scored the 6 points, this means that you've got a strong beginner foundation and you're ready to try skills like backward skating or even crossovers. So no matter what score you got today, the goal wasn't to pass the test. The goal was to find out what to work on next and where you're at. And the good thing is that every one of these skills can be improved with a little bit of practice. So if there are a few tests that felt difficult today, try focusing on those skills for a few weeks, then come back and take the test again. And guys, I would love to know how you went, so please feel free to pop your score in the comments below. And if you would like some help building those foundational skills even further, I've put together a free 5-day Learn to Skate series that walks you through exactly what to focus on as an adult beginner. You'll find the link down in the description below. And if you would like to become a smoother, more confident skater, watch this video next where I share the foundational skills that I use to help adult beginners improve their skating. So watch that video next and I'll see you over there.